Thank you for listening to the J. Coming up next is All Things Plarail.
You are listening to All Things Plarail from the J Podcast Network. Here is your host, Kennedy.
出発進行。
Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to Jay. Actually, this is the All Things Plarail podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy. And many of you are probably familiar with the longtime radio show or podcast, The J, which we talk about Japanese pop culture and music. But this is not about music or Japanese entertainment in that aspect. All Things Plarail, or even our Tetsudo Mokei podcast, they focus on Japanese trains. Plarail, for those of you who are not familiar with Plarail, is a popular children's toy. Back in the 1950s, they released trains, which were almost like the size of HO gauge type of trains, but these were battery powered, and they ran on blue plastic tracks. And the trains would definitely feed the need for children at the time, or even adults, the young at heart, who wanted to collect trains, but at the same time not worry about the actual N gauge or HO gauge trains. They would get these trains, which were a lot cheaper, because they were plastic. And they ran through a big size D battery, but now they run on a single AA. That's how far technology has come along. And I guess you could say the target demographic has changed a lot in previous years. Of course, a lot of people are aware that Japan is suffering from a low childbirth rate. No one wants to have kids, and that of course affects the toy lines. The kids who parents who usually buy for their kids. So with the low childbirth rate, it does affect things. And so what Takara Tomy has done is that they started to look at what will the children buy. Okay, they have the sets for children. They also have Shinkarion Chang the World, which is a very popular anime series and toy line, because think of it as Transformers, but with Japanese trains. Robots that transform from trains, popular trains, like the bullet trains and so forth. And in fact, I just want to give a shout out to the 10th anniversary for Shinkarion. And they currently have all of the original series, all 39 episodes, up on YouTube. Granted, it's in Japanese, but if you want to check it out, you can, especially if you're learning Japanese. The anime series, I will have a link down below, so you can check that out. But, going back to the demographics, Shinkarion Chang the World is popular among the young and the young at heart. And also Thomas. The train series, Kikansha Tomitsu. It's just a popular series that people grew up with, and when Takara Tomy acquired the license, they really did well with releasing various trains featuring Thomas and friends. Of course, in Japan, or even to what was released outside of Japan, the certain animation changes in style. Right now, it's really cutesy, but back then it was based on the popular TV series that many people grew up watching. So they did bring that back, but they're still releasing the original ones with the ones that are based on the more modern, cutesy children style of trains. But yeah, there are so many changes now when it comes to Plarail trains, and with Plarail Real Class, those are targeted towards adults who do not want to spend too much on N-gauge, X-gauge, or HO gauge trains that run via a controller that's electrifies the rails for it to move. But Plarail is different because they're made of plastic and they run off. Well, back then they ran through a single D battery, and now they run off a double A battery, one. And so that's amazing. I think that's what technology has changed throughout the years, but at the same time, with the changes of the demographic, it's becoming more adults that are playing, that are paying for it. So they tend to focus now on the Plarail Real Class and versus the standard line. They still release the standard line, thank goodness. Last year was terrible in terms of releases, but you are seeing a few being released in 2025. But you know what? Let's go ahead and kick things off with, let's see here. Okay, we got the Plarail Real Class. Okay, here we go. So this one right here, as you can see, Plarail Real Class, you could look at it. Plarail Real Class has a lot of details. Still made of plastic, but a lot more detail than its regular S-line relative. So this one features the sleeper train, the Sleeper Express Nihonkai. And this one is really fascinating because the more you start to learn more about Japanese trains, you start to see these classic ones with the little maroon or rose-colored type of exterior, paint exterior, and pulling three blue, the three blue trains, such as the Ohanefu 25100 and the Ohane 25100. But these are blue, and the Kani 24100 features interior engine parts, and they also come with like three plastic rails that are more realistic with Plarail Real Class. They don't really use the blue plastic tracks anymore. But you could still use that on, of course, the main S-line, normal S-line. But yeah, this is a really, really cool classic train. This is something that I've owned on N-gauge. But the thing is that with N-gauge, usually when they sell that, it's usually just the maroon train itself, unless you buy a set, which is going to cost you probably several $100s. But I think if anything, look at this right here. It's priced at 7,700 yen, so more than likely you'll be paying about 5,500 yen if you get it on Amazon, but retail's always 7,700. So expect to pay about $40 or so on these Plarail Real Class. Really, really detailed. I really like this series. Then you have the S63 as part of the new one. This is a Chizu Express Limited Express Super Hakoto. And this one is a train operated by Chizu Express that began operation on December 3rd, 1994. You could see this old school looking train just by the look of it. But I think it's pretty cool that they're releasing this. This one, let's see here. We got the story of Ionada Monogatari. This one is a tourist train that runs along the beautiful coast of Ehime, Shikoku, and the carriages are painted in the crimson of the sunset sky and the golden hue of the sun and citrus fruits. And, wow, interesting. S64. Yeah, the S lines tend to only have 3 trains, so again, they're inexpensive. Both of them go for 2,860 yen, but don't be surprised if you see online they're being sold about 1,800 to 2,200 yen or so. But yeah, they tend to be a lot cheaper, and they're not as detailed. For instance, where you see the Plarail Real Class with these glass windows and these open windows, Usually these the S normal line tend to have these black plastic, painted plastic. In addition, we have a 103 series Psycho line. And what I find fascinating about this is that it is a normal standard S release. They just released one like this for Plarail World class. But yeah, the Psycho line opened in 1985. The 103 series was in operation, but was gradually replaced by the 205 series and ceased commercial operation on December 18th, 1990. So, and look at this. Another video game inspired JR Kyushu train. This one was inspired by the JR Kyushu Pikmin train. This one was available in from JR Kyushu. I guess you could say that it ran during that time from December 2024 to May 2025. So you'll see a lot of Pikmin designs based on the concept of explore the fascinating planet Kyushu with Pikmin. So, and you also get a Blockhead figure on that. And this one, you got the thank you, arigato, E217 series, Yokosuka color and Shonan color double set. So yeah, if you didn't get these single releases, you can get them as a double for the E217. You'll always have, when they say Shonan colors, they typically mean it has green and orange, which is a big indicator of Shonan. So those are they're also desirable for trains. And of course, when you think about Yokosuka or even anything in Kanagawa Prefecture with the use of blue and that light tan, quite normal. Then below, well, by the way, this one will cost about 6,600 yen for this set. Yeah, a little expensive. You got that J33 Action Town Guru Car Wash, and that one will be going for 1980 yen. And then you have the Bridge Station and Overpass Kit. So, yeah. And everyone, just a reminder that the Shinkarion Change the World will be up for a limited time on YouTube for free. This is to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the anime series. And of course, the toy line is so popular. All 39 episodes till August 31st. So definitely check it out. Or is it August 30th or the 31st? I forgot. But anyway, you don't have much time. So at the end of the month, just probably less than, well, just a little over a week. That's all you have. So definitely check out the anime series while you can. A lot of you are probably going to say, well, it's all Japanese. Yeah, it is. But Japanese for this series is a little simple. So the translations, while a little rough, you can definitely do the auto translate on YouTube from Japanese to English, and you'll probably get the gist of the storyline. Not too difficult to follow. But for the most part, yeah, definitely check that one out. We got another movie collaboration with Plarail, and this one utilizing the Plarail class. This is probably the second one, right? That, well, they've always had the Jurassic Parks, but we do know that the Harry Potter one used the Plarail World class tracks, and this one, Back to the Future 3, will also do the same and also will feature 3 Blockheads. The price will be 7,700 yen, same price as the Plarail World class. That pretty much is like under $50 US dollars. So this is the Back to the Future Part 3, Locomotive 131 and Time Machine. Looks like you got Michael J. Fox's character, Doc, and the girlfriend. I'm not really sure. But 7,700 yen, October 18th, 2025. One thing I like about this is that you get the locomotive, but also the little, DeLorean right there. But I do like the, is that the Tomica one? It might be. But I like how you got that little bridge with those little rock-like thingies holding it up. But yeah, look at this right here. Pretty cool. Got the hovercraft right there. It is a Tomica. I was correct. So the Tomica does roll. Is it? Does it take batteries? Let's see here. The kids. Let's go ahead and check out the video real quick.
世代を超えて愛される名作映画シリーズがプラレールに登場。プラレールバックトゥザフューチャーパート3。蒸気機関車131
You gotta love those collaborations between Plarail and Tomica.
号&タイムマシン。スリリングなクライマックスシーンを再現。
Oh yeah, it does. It does run. Yeah.
毒を追いかけ疾走する機関車に飛び乗ったクララ。クララに気づいて列車から落ちかける毒。さらに加速する機関車。マーティの起点でホバーボードを毒へ。危機一髪、興奮の名シーンを再現。プラレールバックトゥザフューチャーパート3。蒸気機関車131号。
So that's pretty cool. That is very cool. Again, 7,700 yen, but usually Amazon and stores tend to have it much cheaper. So probably it'll go under 5,000 yen. So probably about 35 bucks right there. You could also pick up the Tomica Premium Unlimited of the Back to the Future 40th Anniversary Collection, where you can get all three from Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and Back to the Future 3 for 4,620 yen. And that one will be released on October 25th, 2025. So let's go ahead and talk about Plarail. Which one did I pick up recently? Well, I picked up the E259, the series. This is the newer version of the Narita Express with the silver on the front. And one of these cool things about the sets, you get, of course, the six cars, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Usually you get 4, but this one being a set, you get 6, and this is for those who specifically love Plarail sets, and especially love the Narita Express. I tend to get all the sets, and one of the reasons why is they make great collector sets, because collector sets, we know Plarail is targeted usually, was at, for many decades targeted towards children, but more and more adults are purchasing it. It's those children that grew up with it are now becoming the primary collectors. And I think for myself, having ridden Narita Express for so long, I definitely have love for this train. It's for a lot of people, it'll be the first Japanese train, especially if you're leaving Narita Airport. There's another one that probably people ride as well, but the Narita Express is the common train, and for a lot of people these days, of course, with the JR Pass, it is a GR train. Oh, it's not a JR train. No, if I recall, did I have to get a special? I think you have to get that special pass, right? I forgot. It's been a while, but because here's the thing, JR Pass. Let's get this out of the way. A lot of people don't activate their JR Pass until they need to. So usually if you are traveling long distances, that's when people activate it. But something like this, usually just go to the booth if you're heading out to Tokyo and just get your ticket. There's a lot of open space, I guess you could say, unless you're going during a major holiday season, especially a Golden Week or something, then yeah, it might be packed. But for majority of travelers, when they ride the Narita Express, you'll always pretty much get a ticket. There's always open space to ride on, but it's a fairly cool train. I enjoy riding it. Looks very cool. My first time, it wasn't the 259, but it was probably many years probably 2 generations before is the first Narita Express I rode. And then, of course, the difference from the current one and the previous generation was that the front had the black, and now this one has the silver. So there are some differences. So the question is, what I'm trying to see how to make it sound to become understandable. Okay, on August 29th, that is when the U.S. tariffs on Japan start on August 1st, but they're called the de minimis tax, where before, if it's under 800 yen, or not 800 yen, $800, a lot of retailers could send from overseas without any extra costs involved. Starting on August 29th, if you live in the US and you import anything from Japan, doesn't matter if it costs under $800, you will now be taxed about 15% more. And it's just the nature of how things are these days and what's going on in the world, right? So yeah, it's a decision that a lot of people, especially those who collect Japanese toys and Japanese die-cast metal cars such as the Tomica or even Plarail or anything that can be ordered from Japan, including J-pop CDs, magazines, books. All U.S. orders from Japan will face a 15% import duty under $800 starting on August 29th, 2025. So if it's August 22nd, so if you want to order, do it now and definitely get it in, but unless you don't mind the 15% import duty. So it's unfortunate, but again, it's part of what's going on with the world today, and it's not just from Japan. Other countries, are facing similar things. So or have already had been taxed like crazy. I hear Europe has always been like that. So it's unfortunate, but for those in the U.S., but I think a lot of people in the world are probably not going to feel any disgust or anything, because they feel that, oh, you guys have been lucky all this time, especially when it comes to gasoline prices, right? So it's just how it is. Another one I picked up was the S62 Tsukuba Express Series 3000. Yes. I figured that you don't really see Tsukuba Express being released, and I figured, you know what, I'll go ahead and get it. And also, you don't get to see too many trains with that little red and white and blue in that angled top area. But again, this is a regular line, and you should find it inexpensive, so you should be able to find it easily. But I think for me, the big one that I really truly wanted was this S61 Tobu Type 8000 series. I like that white with the blue, the light, with the, I guess you could say aqua blue and the dark blue striped. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a classic train, right? So it's something that I definitely wanted in my collection for my Plarail collection, and yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. It is, definitely a train with a lot of white, so definitely something you do not want to leave out in the sunlight, or because one thing you have to realize that for those of you who, well, I think a lot of people who have anything that is white, maybe a keyboard or a mouse, or anything that may get some UV light, the white will turn, the plastic, so the white plastic will turn yellowish. And that is something I do not like seeing with my toys. I know some people have Legos, especially Star Wars Stormtroopers or so forth, where they start to yellow. But just remember, hydrogen peroxide can definitely fix a lot of that yellowing. So you could search that up online if you do have something that's severely yellow, or But yeah, definitely look that one up. But yeah, this is something I definitely wanted in my collection. I like trains. I'm just happy that they're still releasing trains like this for Plarail, especially for the regular line. It's pretty cool. Now, are there other sets or things that caught my interest? Yes, this Plarail JR Kyushu, not JR Kyushu, Plarail Hasegawa Station and Crossing Bridge. I thought this is pretty cool, and would be good to have. It's part of that Plarail Real Advance, as you can see with the gray tracks right there. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool set. A bit pricey at 3,200 yen. So again, there was a price increase with Takara Tomy toys in general. Again, everything Japan's going up in price, so this should be no surprise to people. I've talked about it so much on Tetsudo Mokei and all things Plarail. And yeah, the only thing is that this thing will be released on September 27th, 2025. So if you live outside of Japan, you may want to see how things go and what kind of 15% import fee that people will be paying after August 29th. But yeah, this one will be released September 27th. Similar to the Plarail Real Class, that new train. Oh, definitely something that you may need to think about and try to figure out, or even contact Amazon if you will get that 15% fee, or they're just going to include it with their shipping. Another thing is the JR Kyushu Pikmin Rain Train. That one will be released on September 27th. But other than that, there's a lot of trains coming out. It's just right now, for those of you who are living outside of Japan, it's just all about how this import fee will affect you. For those of you in Japan or traveling Japan, yes, you can find it easily. But I think if anything, I'm hoping that it doesn't become too expensive. I have noticed that with Amazon, the pricing of the shipping, let's say if you're just going to order one train, they're adding, it's like 2934 yen. Before it used to be what, like 2200, 2300, but it has gone up. But I'm not sure if that's because of the shipping situation or what, but I do not know. I don't know how to answer that at this time, because I think if anything, these tariffs or these import duties, it's all new for a lot of people who have not experienced this from Japan. But I've said it many times, for the past several years, now's the time to get things from Japan, because the economy is not doing so great and the yen is not doing so great. So it becomes more of a benefit for those who live overseas. But things are changing now, right? So, but for some people, who are collectors, diehard collectors, it may not affect them at all. So, but I still feel, though, that the fact that Takara Tomy is releasing Plarail. Let me change the screen here. Hold on. There we go. Picture I took outside with this pretty cool train with all its windows, the Seibu train. Yeah, going back to the discussion with Takara Tomy, I am very happy that we are getting more of the the standard line release of trains. I think that's pretty awesome. I feel that last year, during the anniversary year, not having those releases kind of hurt the Plarail brand, but it's good to see more being released and trains that you've never seen before. I like that they're releasing those standard line trains. And of course, the Plarail Rule class, a lot of people think, oh, that was a gimmick, no one's going to get it. But yeah, collectors want them. It's the next thing to get if you do not want to go, engage. And they come in pretty cool collector's boxes, and they look very cool too. So that's a major plus. And of course, the Shinkarion and the the kids lines with the sets, they're still going to be popular. People are going to buy them still, but don't get me wrong, the struggle is real. I know that Takara Tomy has noticed that there has been a difference when it comes to who the target demographic of these trains are, and there's just so much more competition than things were than what was happening a decade ago. You have other companies making their own train toys for children. You're having die-cast metal trains being released, and there's just a lot of competition out there. And for a lot of parents, having something such as those die-cast release, one of the reasons why they're so popular is because they're metal and also very small for kids to clean up. But the thing is, for enthusiasts, Plarail is still the train that many grew up collecting or having as a child, and now that they are releasing them as Plarail World Class, targeted for the adults and also for the newer trains that are just looking really, really cool, I think that's a major plus. It's not for everyone, but at the same time, I think for Plarail collectors, it's just, what we're getting, even though it's not a lot, I think it's still pretty cool that we're still getting Plarail trains. How the future will be, no one will know, but the thing is, this is a long-running toy line for Takara Tomy. And it's still a popular toy line among train enthusiasts. But, again, there is no surprise by this that the children demographic that was there for decades is the skew is changing. And it's understandable if the company starts to create trains that will appeal more to adults. And judging by how many people are buying, especially the collector's trains that are being released, especially the KQ ones, that, for the price, what they're releasing for, and, that people are buying them is a testament of people's dedication to the Plarail line. It may not be as it was back then in terms of units sold, but for children, but you have a new, I don't want to say new, but you have that existing demographic who's just grown up with the toys and they still collect it to this day. It's all good. And I'm one of those people. And, it's just for my passion of Japanese trains. Yes, I will still collect Engage, but, at the same time, with Engage and HO prices definitely increasing, these Plarail World Class and the standard Plarail is not so bad. It's not so bad at all. So I think if anything, we're just very fortunate that we are still getting releases out there. And for those of you who live outside of Japan, it's, what you see it for being sold, especially on eBay, whatever, it's still cheaper than I guess, again, Engage HO. And it's just something that's more of a niche now, of having certain trains that may not be in your region, but you just admire it for the train for what it is, what it stands for, and the respect that people have towards these vehicles. And it's just amazing that the toy line still continues to this day. And the fans who grew up with it are still supportive. So that's all we can ask for. Okay, everyone, you all take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the All Things Plarail. Make sure to check out the Giant Radio podcast. I'll have a link down below where you can find that, but also check out our Saturday night mix-up if you like to listen to music. That usually is handled by DJ Takahashi Ayu. And yeah, you all take care, and I will see you later. Wink, wink, and